action. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in once again to EDSPACE. My name is Ed Suarez. I'm going to be your host for the entire show. I'm going to guide you through the conversations that I do have with other people, as well as myself. And that's what we're doing here right now, because once again, we are here at episode 2, and we're just getting a feel for this. And right now, we're just going to have conversations with ourselves so that you guys get a better understanding of how I think, I guess, and what the experiences that I've been through is, and why you think I would respond a certain way to certain things. All right, so conversationally, this is like my background check. And so today, the topic of the conversation is going to be heartbreak. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, fuck. This entire thing is going to be about love? Ugh. Not necessarily. It's not just going to be love, although love will be a part of it. There'll be a chunk of love. Most of it will be, a lot of it will be about relationships with, like, my parents. Like the heartbreak that I've experienced in many different parts of my life, like business-wise, all that shit, So yeah, it's not going to be all about love, but I am excited about this one because I feel like a person's heartbreak is the biggest thing that you can ever learn about them. I feel like when a person talks about their heartbreak, they're becoming completely vulnerable for you, and they trust you, and they value you enough to say something personal about themselves to make you comfortable on another level with them. You know what I mean? And I think it's huge, man. So I wanted to set the premise of the podcast with a metaphor that I've been thinking about lately. And I see people, like, as individuals, we're all like marble slabs, like for sculpting purposes, and then God is like the sculptor, and then the experiences that we go through is the tools that he uses to kind of chip away at it and then create the beautiful masterpiece that will be us at the end of our lives. And so the little chips is the heartbreak and the lessons that we learned, which is, I feel like that's such a huge, it's so true, and it's such a huge part in what creates individuality in each and every one of us. So this is, I guess, going to be the podcast where I talk a little bit about that for myself. Hope you guys fuck with it. Thank you again for tuning in. But yeah, let's get it started. As far as heartbreaks are concerned, everything started since from when I was a child. I was born differently already. I was born in the Philippines, and my dad was out here in Guam working, and then it was just me, my mom, my older brother, and my older sister, and then our little brother was on the way. So I was born, and I lived my life out there for about 5 years. I was raised there. I spoke Tagalog. That was the only thing I spoke, and we moved out here when I was 5, which was like in 1999. And at that point, my brother was already about to enter his junior year of high school. My sister was in middle school, was a baby. My little brother was a baby. And, we were living the American dream, because that's what we wanted. We came out here for opportunity. My dad was already out here for like 20 years building the foundation before we were able to come over. So it was beautiful, thanks, Dad. You are amazing. But, so when we got out here, my older brother went into high school, and he made his friends there. And, man, like, as I mentioned before, he got into like the bad crowd. So he got in with the people that, that drank, that did drugs, and, all that crazy shit. And so he fell into that. And it didn't affect him until he like turned 21. Yeah, when he turned 21, that's when he was 21, I was 8 years old. So it was 3 years later after we came over. Some shit went down, bro. Boy, oh boy. So my brother started tripping out. Like, at the end of the day, just long story short, he was diagnosed with depression. And that made sense because he really struggled with the drugs. Like, he couldn't stay away. Like, he kept making the bad decisions. And the bad decision was going with those friends, like, because you become who you associate yourself with. And if you associate yourself with bad people, at the end of the day, no matter how good you are, you're gonna start having bad people tendencies, and that's just how it fucking works. So don't do that. Law of association is real, motherfuckers. But so he was chilling with drug addicts. And then it started hitting him one day. He couldn't stop, dude. He was tweaking like a motherfucker. He was tweaking so bad, he kept talking to himself. He was like walking all over the place. He was like sweating. He couldn't stop moving. He was just fidgeting, dude. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? What's up, dude? And then I was a boy, so I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought he was just, like drank some really great coffee and was having a difficult time with a caffeine hit, because fucking caffeine is dangerous, But no, he was fucking tweaking. So that was the start of everything that did happen to my brother. For fucking years, on and off, man. Relapse, we take him to rehab. Relapse, take him to rehab. Relapse. And that was like my childhood, growing up. We were going through that type of stuff. And you know how every family has their own issue that they all deal with together. This was that for us. My mom always thought it was like the worst, like, oh my gosh, what do we do to deserve this stuff, and then I felt that way for the longest time too. I was just like, fuck, man, it's so hard to do things when you have to deal with that type of stress, and it always like fucked me up, dude. It was like always really bad. And I had a hard time doing like schoolwork and stuff like that because I was going through it here at home, and it was so hard because I didn't have access to a library or just like shit that would take me away from here. But I had to do that, and I was just like, fuck, this is difficult. But I did okay in school. I was okay. I didn't fail. I was in like top 20. Not to toot my own horn, but so my brother started doing drugs. And then I remember specifically one time we were going to take a vacation to the Philippines. We were going to be there for 2 months. And we were planning it. My brother was good when we were beginning the planning stages. And then like a week before the trip, my brother started tripping again. Like I guess the medications stopped working on him because we had him on medication. And the medication just stopped working. And then, boy, man, he was like tripping. And then like it wouldn't stop. Like, so the whole week it was going. So my mom and dad were starting to get worried, like, oh fuck, we're going to the Philippines, we'll be there for 2 months, then we have to deal with this every single night. What are we gonna do? So this was probably like the third time my brother already was gonna be put into rehab. So my parents started planning that they were gonna put him into rehab on the first day that we got there. And so what happened was we were planning to go to the amusement park, the one called Enchanted Kingdom. We were gonna go there, so we were hyping that shit up. And the plan was, on the first day we were gonna take him to rehab. So we spent the first night with him when we got there, and then the next day we were all getting ready, like, oh fuck, so excited, we're gonna go to the amusement park, blah 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 blah. And he was like super excited because we were all just hanging out there, and then he loves the Philippines, so he was feeling it. But yeah. So the next morning we got into the van, and then and then my dad drove, and he drove, and then we were just kicking it back in the back seats. And we were talking about all the shit that we were gonna do at Enchanted Kingdom. Me and my brother and my sister knew what was gonna happen already. We knew that we were gonna take my brother there, and then so we had to act, dude. We had to act like everything was okay. And then when we got there, fuck, we got to the rehab. My brother recognized the rehab because it wasn't his first time there. And then they had the orderlies come out and have to help to take him in so they could check him in. And my mom and dad left the car, and then it was just me and my siblings in the back seat. We were just like, oh fuck, this is so crazy. It's like a movie. Holy fuck, see guys. And then we were like making jokes, like, don't do drugs. That's what happens when you do drugs. But that was just our way of coping with it. It was a crazy situation. So blah 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 blah. Joking. Mom and dad come back in the car. It got fucking quiet. The van was so fucking thick. Like the air was so thick. Like if you tried to inhale, you would choke. It was like that thick. You know? And dude, my dad started crying. And then my mom started crying. And then my sister started crying. And my brother started crying. And I was like, oh fuck. Wow. I was just watching them. I was sitting there, I was watching them. I didn't cry yet. But I was watching them. I was just like, yo, man. It's been 4 years. We've been doing this for 4 years. My parents have been exhausted for 4 years because they lost sleep. Because he would never sleep. You know? My sister was working at the time. And my brother would show up to her work. So she was so embarrassed and ashamed for 4 years. And then here at home, it was just me and my little brother. And we would experience and hear and see the drawings that he would make. And it was just like crazy stuff, you know? For 4 fucking years. And I was just looking at everyone crying. And then I tried to breathe. I was like, and then fucking my tears cut my fucking breath. And then I started crying. And I was just like, yo. So we were all just crying in a car. It was cute. We didn't go to Enchanted Kingdom, by the way. So that sucked. We just went home, dude. We went to get Jollibee and then we went home. And then we just stayed in our fucking rooms. Which is expected, you know. That was a crazy fucking situation was crazy. But yeah, so fuck man. That's just one story with my brother. But that was going on for 4 years, like I said. And then it went on for another 4 years after that, so a total of 8 years until we finally got it down, you know, like how to deal with the situation. So that heartbreak right there taught me how to be patient. It taught me how to be understanding, and it taught me how to be more considerate of people, because you never fucking know what people are going through. And my brother was, you know, he was depressed, and I didn't even know that, dude. I didn't know that, and I was talking shit. And I was just like, yeah, fuck, man. You know, people can choose to do things that it will improve them. People do that all the time. And I thought it was that easy. But, bro, it's hard. I know now. And I understand, you know. So that it taught me all of that. So I went into high school with that mindset, dude. Oh, no. I graduated high school with that mindset. But, yeah, shout out to that heartbreak. And then, you know, so all of the while that was going on, you know, I was falling in and out of love. And it was fun. I loved falling in and out of love. It was the best parts of my life. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I love love. That's the thing. So I fell in love 4 times. Excuse me. Did you hear me burp, dude? That was wonderful. I just stopped drinking that drink. Each girl I fell in love with taught me a lesson in love. And it was a great experience all the way through. I'm a firm believer that I'm a firm believer in the thought that once you love someone, you never stop loving them. I think that's absolutely the truth. Like, I still love them. I really do. It's a different degree. And it's not what it was, you know, whatever passion was there or level of intimacy was there. Of course, it's not going to be on that level, but I do love them. Like, if someone calls me and says, hey, man, I'm going through some shit, or hey, can I talk to you? Or hey, I need your help with something. I'm going to die or some shit like that. Or hey, I'm sick, you know, like, fuck, dude, I would jump. I would do that because you're my friend. And I do that for like all my friends. I try to the best of my ability, because I feel like that's how you just got to spread that, man. You just got to spread that love. And so these guys, I just wanted to say I never stop loving you. You know, if you're listening to this right now, I hope you're doing well. And thank you for the lessons and the love that you shared with me at the time that we were together. Yep. All right, here we go. So there were definitely toxic relationships and a healthy relationship. I've had one healthy relationship, and it was the earliest one, the first relationship that I've ever been with. Like, it was so healthy, dude. It was so healthy. All she did was support me and be funny and goofy with me, because I'm a goofy guy. And if you like follow me on Instagram, you can see that shit every single day. Like, I'm so obnoxious and loud, and you know, I'm just doing the craziest things to try to get people to smile or laugh. And she was the same way. Like, her personality was so eccentric, and I loved it so much. And we were together for about 3 years, you know, and we were together all throughout high school. And when we were dating, it was so free flowing. Like there wasn't any jealousy. There wasn't any like crazy fights. A lot of the fights were caused by me, you know, like, because I'm a piece of shit, and I thought love was supposed to be the way it is in movies. Like, I could never just accept a good thing. I didn't know how. I didn't think that's how it went because of the movies that I've seen, and I was fucking it up by expecting that we were supposed to fight at some point. There had to be a reason to fight about something, and there really never was. And if you're listening to this, I just want to say sorry. I'm a piece of shit. And so that relationship taught me that I had personal development to do. It was amazing. It was the best relationship ever. But I didn't deserve it. And I learned that very, very quickly. And I tried to make changes. And I'm still trying to make changes, because I'm not perfect. I'm not an amazing, like, motherfucking perfect Prince Charming, you know. But yeah, so that one taught me that I had to work on myself and love myself before I was able to do anything else. Excuse me, damn, I keep burping. And there were a few toxic relationships. You know, I was in a toxic relationship that was like super passionate. It was very, very passionate. It was so much love. Like crazy in love type stuff. It was like so intense. You ever been in a relationship where, like, when you feel them, like, you really just like connect with them on every single level? It was that crazy, you know. And so this relationship was great, man. It was super crazy, but it probably had to be the hardest one. This relationship had to be the craziest relationship that I was in. You know, I was young. I was fucking 19, and we've already been together for about a few months, like 4 months. We just fell so deeply in love, and I knew it was that type of love because I felt myself needing her, I guess. You know, that's like falling in toxic love, you know. But that's what it felt like, and it was mutual, you know, like she felt that same way. And so this was the hardest relationship because fuck, man. So we were irresponsible because we were young and dumb. And we got intimate. And then that intimacy bore fruits. A fruit. You know, I was only 19. She was only 19. And we had a conversation when we found out that she was, you know, pregnant. I was like, yo, okay, here's what we can do. You know, we can keep the baby, and I will just work my fucking ass off. I will grab whatever job I need to get to be able to support, you know, whatever little family we're gonna have if you keep the baby. And the other option was like adoption, right? To put it up for adoption. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's an option too. And then we were considering everything. And then last but not least, you know, the option was like abortion. So we were like, no, fuck that. No, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. I'm just gonna go and work hard. I love you, and I want to be with you. And if this is the cards that were dealt, then I'm ready to deal with it. You know, I know it's gonna be hard, but I'm ready to deal with it. So, excuse me. So we decided, yeah, okay, let's keep the baby. And then I went crazy. I was like, poof. All right, I'm gonna be a dad. I'm gonna be a dad. Gotta be able to provide for my family. So I was gonna go and try to look for jobs and stuff like that, like better ones than the one I was doing already. And then 3 months, no, a month later after the decision, she was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And I was just like, okay, what's going on? And she told me, I changed my mind. And I was like, okay, that's okay. What are you thinking then? Did you research any like adoption things already? And then she was like, no, I want to get an abortion. We're both young, and we're not ready for this, you know. And this is my body, so, you know, it's my body, my decision. And I was just like, fuck. She got me stumped there because it's not my body, and I can't just be like, no, bear this child, bear it. You know, I can't just do that. So she's right, and I couldn't do anything about it. And you know, we went in there, got the procedure done, and it was so traumatizing for her, It's probably the hardest thing ever, and I experienced it with her because she would have nightmares about feeling it in her gut, and feeling, she worded it like the vacuum, like feeling the vacuum sucking inside her. And fuck, dude, it was so hard. So hard. It was the craziest thing I've ever been through. No one knew. It was just us. For a very, very, very long time. It was just us that knew. You know. And at the end of the day, that relationship didn't work out. You know, things happen. And people grow, right? So we broke up, and then I was like single for a couple years. But I still had that burden on my chest, you know? Like, I was like, fuck, man, I felt like a piece of shit. Because it was also my decision, you know? I had to take responsibility for that. I'm not coming off of that scot-free. Like, I was so guilty. And for 2 years, man, I held that in my chest. I kept it in there. I just held on to it. And it just kept brewing and brewing. Every time I saw a baby at the water park that I worked at, it would hit me. You know, every time I see a family just like hanging out at the mall, it would hit me. Whenever I'd see in movies, you know, like fucking baby happening, it hits me. And then it was just so hard, man. Every time I saw that, my heart would get heavier and heavier. And then I got to this point where I started getting depressed. And I was depressed for like months, dude. I was just like the worst person to be around. And then the depression escalated even a little bit more because I couldn't stop seeing the fucking babies, you know. There were babies everywhere. And that was God's way of like saying, hey, you did something wrong. Check this out, you know. And it's like bring me closer to him. But so I started getting like suicidal. I was having suicidal thoughts. I didn't attempt anything, but I was already thinking about it. And I was like, yo, I gotta do something about this. Nobody knew about the situation. And I felt like I just needed to talk to somebody. So I talked to my dad. I texted my dad. I was like, I was at work. And then I texted my dad. I was like, hey, Pa, I need to talk to you about something. When I get home from work, is that okay? And then he came home, and I was waiting for him, and it was just me and him. My mom and my other siblings were out of the house, so it was just me and my dad. And then he sat on the couch, I sat on the couch, and he was like, oh, okay, hey, what's going on? What's up? And then I was like, I have something to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. It's really hard. But do you remember my ex-girlfriend's name? You know, I'm gonna just say that. It's my ex-girlfriend's name. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember her. Oh, no, what happened? Did something happen to her? What's going on? Are you okay? Because I was already, like, starting to cry. And then I told him, like, so when we were together, Dad, like, you know, when you're in a relationship, you do things. So we did something, and I got her pregnant. And then my dad was just quiet, right? So I got her pregnant, and we got an abortion. And this was 2 years ago when we were together. And I've been holding it in my chest, and I've been struggling with it, you know. Like, I think about killing myself. I told my dad that. I thought about killing myself a lot. And I can't hold it in anymore. And I need you right now, you know. Because I don't know who else to go to. Nobody else knows about this. So my dad was just chilling on the couch. And then, you know, he didn't say anything. He just fucking got up and he just held me, dude. Because I was crazy, bawling tears already. He just held me and he just said, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, shh. It's okay. It's okay. And I calmed down finally. And then my dad sat down in front of me again. And then he said, you know, I feel that way sometimes. Sometimes I find myself laying in bed looking up at the ceiling, thinking, why do I go through this? Why am I doing all of this, you know? He thinks like, fuck, I could just end it right now. And then he said, but then I think about you guys. Think about you, think about your brothers, think about your sister, think about your mom. You guys are my inspiration. And everything I do is for you. And I just want you to be good. And I want you to be okay. You know? And he told me that, and I was just like, oh, fuck, Dad. And then I started crying even more, dude. And then at the end of it, like, he was cracking jokes to make me feel better. And, like, he was... we migrated into a different room in the house. And he was like, oh, that was it? That's all you're going to tell me? I thought you were going to say that you wanted to get married to your current girlfriend. I was just like, oh, fuck, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. Like, that would be, like, a worse thing than the story I told him. Yeah, I love my dad. I love him so much. And, yeah, he really helped me with that situation. And, you know, that was another heartbreak that really shaped me. It's fucking huge, man. I really, really struggled with it. And it brought me to dark places in my head. My EDSPACE. But, yeah, so that was fun. And then there was another girl. There was another girl that was comfortable. It was just comfortable, content. We were just chilling all the time. We were like homies, dude. She was my fucking homie. We were so fucking dope together. We just did everything, dude. We just did everything together. And we couldn't be apart. And then we would crack the stupidest jokes, and we would like we would do so many things together that was just so much fun and so chill. You know, and I started to fall for this girl, and I was just like, man, honestly, I know you're not, you know, you don't want to date anybody, but I just want to express my feelings towards you. And, you know, I want us to be friends. You're my best friend, and I don't want you to go anywhere. Don't be afraid or scared of what I'm about to say. But I do have feelings for you. It's just a heads up. You know, I gave her that heads up, at least. And so we were sitting in my car, and she was like, you know what? Okay. And I was like, what? She was like, okay. I'm like, okay, what? And she was like, okay, let's give it a try. Let's try this out. Let's see where this goes. Man, you know, I really like you too. And then we kissed for the first time. Mwah. It was nice. And I took her home. And we were just comfortable, man. Like, the entire relationship was just one big friendship. But love really complicates things, dude. Love complicates things so much. So fucking much, man. I love this girl so much. She's so nice. Her family was really nice, too. They just let me in. They're so welcoming and accommodating. And they really... I felt it, you know. I felt the love and stuff like that. But that relationship was comfortable the entire time. I was her first, like, actual boyfriend. Well, how old was I? She was, like, 19, and I was, like... No. Yeah, I was, like, 21, turning 22 at that point, I think. I forgot. I think I was 20. I don't even remember how old I was. But, yeah, we were together for, like, a year and, like... fucking, 6 months? A year and 6 months. And the entire time we were just homies. She was so much fun. The sex was, she was great. This is stupid. I'm so stupid. Sorry. Anyways, so at the end of it, dude, she fucking cheated on me, bro. So she cheated on me. Well, it wasn't cheating technically. I'm just a sourpuss. What happened was... one night I got off work. I was super tired because I was working 3 jobs at the time. I would work at Kmart, I would work at the water park, and then I'd work at the radio station. So my schedule on the weekend was absolutely madness, bro. Stupid mad. Like, I would have to wake up at like 2 a.m. in the morning to go to the radio station, work from 2 to 6 o'clock, right? And then I'd take my shit in my car, park at the water park, and sleep for like 30 minutes. I'd clock in at the water park. Work from 8 to 5 o'clock. Clock out. Go to Kmart. Park upstairs. Take a 15-minute nap. And then clock in until 9 o'clock. Every day. That was the same thing. I would only get like 3 hours and fucking 45 minutes of napping a day. You know, so I was fucking exhausted. And one night, she was like, hey, I'm going to go drinking with my Nina. You should come and hang out with us. And I was like, oh, I thought we were going to do Pokino at your house. Pokino is like this bingo type of game. It's super fun. I fucking love it so much. I thought we were going to play Pokino with your family. I miss your family. I haven't seen them in a while. She was like, nah, I really want to go drinking. I was like, fuck, man, I'm not really good with alcohol. So you guys can go ahead, have fun. I'm just going to stay home and sleep. Right? And she was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you never want to do things that I want to do. I was like, that is not true, first of all. And then it escalated really bad. I said some really fucked up things. And then she said some really fucked up things. And long story short, we broke up on the call. We broke up on the call. And I was just like, fuck. I thought it was just going to be one of those fights where we wake up in the morning and we're like, hey, you good? I'm good. Okay. What are we going to eat? Let's go eat somewhere, you know? I thought it was one of those fights, but no, it was crazy. I woke up at 2 a.m. I woke up at 2 a.m. that night because I fell asleep at like 8. I woke up at 2 a.m. She texted me. And she was like, hey, you want to have breakup sex? At midnight. She texted me midnight. I was like, hey, you want to have some breakup sex? And then there was a second message after that. It was at like 2 o'clock. She was like, never mind. NVM. That's all she sent. NVM. And then I woke up to that and I was just like, okay. I was thinking maybe she realized like, oh yeah, we're not broken up. It's just a stupid fight that we always have. And fucking, I did laundry that day. I remember doing laundry and all that stuff. And I was just like texting her all day. Hey, morning. I'm so sorry about last night. I really didn't mean the shit that I said. Can we meet and talk about it? I feel like we have to work on some stuff, right? I was texting her that all day. You know, different variations of it all day. And then she texted me at like 3 p.m. And she said, hey. And I was like, what? She was like, I did something and I undo it, and it's already done. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you cheat on me? And she was like, see, why is that the first thing that you assume, right? She said that, and I was like, oh, okay, fuck, thank you. Thank you, she did not cheat on me. And then she was like, let's talk. Pick me up at this time, and we'll talk here. And I was like, all right, I'll see you soon. You know, my dumbass went to Payless, grabbed like a flower, brought it in my car, drove to her place, had the flower in my hand, and as soon as she opened the door, I handed it to her, and I started bawling tears, and I said, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I don't want to lose you, and I'm sorry about the things that I said, I didn't mean it, I'm so sorry. And she's like, hey, stop, it's okay, right? I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm such a little bitch, I'm crying right now. And then and we drove to the place where we were gonna talk. And she was telling me stories about the night to build up to it. She was like, you know, if you're totally there, there was this old man being creepy with me. I dropped something and I went to pick it up. And she said, whoa, girl, don't bend in front of me like that. That's dangerous. And you know, all that shit. And she was just like, if you were there, I know you would have said something. And I was like, yeah, I probably would have. Like, fuck that guy. That guy's so creepy. That's so weird. Excuse me, sir. Sit down. That is a young lady, you know? And I was trying to crack jokes and shit like that. And she was laughing. Blah, blah, blah. And we got to the view. We started looking at it. And she was like, you know what you taught me early on in the relationship? I was like, what? What did I teach you? And she was like, you taught me that if I wanted to get over someone, then I wouldn't have to get under someone else. I was like, I knew where it was going already. And I melted in my seat. And I was just like, okay. I don't know if I taught you that, but all right. And then she said, boom, that's what happened. I had sex with someone last night. And then I went wild, bro. Wild. I had some jewelry that I bought for her in my center console. Fucking grabbed that shit, took it out of its box, and then threw it. That was like $500 worth of fucking jewelry. Threw it out. And probably landed into some random parking lot. I was freaking out. I was like, why? Why'd you do that? Dude, I was like up in her face. I was like, why'd you do that? And then I fell to my knees and I was like, I didn't think this would happen with you. And then I ran into like a hill and I was like, fuck. And I started punching it. I was like, ugh. And my hand started bleeding. And she was like, what the fuck? Stop. She was like, stop doing that. And I was just like, fuck. No. I was so fucking angry. And then I stopped. And then she had like a first aid kit. So she brought it out. She was so sweet about it. I was just like, fuck, man. She had the first aid kit and she's looked at my hand. My hand was like dripping in blood because I was a stupid idiot. I have the scars from that night still. And she was just like, oh, look what you did. What you did to your hands. And I was like, fuck, I don't care. Everything hurts. And then my dumbass was so delusional. I was just like, fuck, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that. Was his dick bigger than mine? I fucking asked her if his dick was bigger than mine. And she looked at me and she didn't say shit, dude. I was like, oh no, dude. I was like, oh fuck. That was the best, dude. And my dumbass, dude, grabbed her phone and I read the messages through the way they were talking. And then I was just like, dude, dagger in the chest, man, nail in the coffin. My heart was broken. And that was the first night that I picked up cigarettes. Dude, I just drove around the island and I killed a box of Marlboro Reds. Because that's what my dad smokes. And I thought, fuck, I need something to level me out. So I started smoking cigarettes. This was the first vice I ever got into, cigarettes. And I was already 21. I was 21 at that point. I wasn't even drinking yet. I picked up cigarettes, dude, and got hooked. It fucking helped. It helped me at that point in time. You know. But yeah, so that relationship taught me to let go when it's time to let go. I held on to that relationship for way too long. And I get why she did it. You know? I'm not saying it's the way to go or it's the thing to do, but there's a reason behind it. And it's not entirely justified because it's a shitty thing to do, but, you know, maybe it's just my perspective. It's horrible. And the last one, the last girl that I want to talk about. You know, I broke after that, the one I just talked about. I broke. I was just like, fuck it. Fuck love. Love is fucking stupid. Love is ridiculous and in every single way. You know, love is stupid. So I stopped believing in love for 2 years. I was just like, be single, you know, go and, you know, hang out with whoever I want to hang out with, do whatever I want to do, fucking sleep whenever I want to sleep, not have to check my phone or like check in with anybody, you know, and that type of stuff. I did that for 2 years, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. It was great. My heart was calloused at that point, you know. After the heartbreaks that I've experienced, fuck, man, my heart was calloused. And then I met somebody that was just as calloused as I was, and we connected. And she was great, dude. We connected on a frequency that I've never connected with, you know, like everyone in my life, like no one had the same vibration as her, and it was electric. I was pulled in, dude. I fucking waited for her too. I waited for her for a year. Like, we were friends for a year before we started dating. But when we started dating, the passion was like intense, dude. It was intense for a couple months. And things started to get weird, you know? She started acting out. She started not wanting to do things. I mean, dude, so many different things. Like, her interest was just dropping, and she was getting more irritable and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck, something's going on. Long story short, we broke up. And I found out that she cheated on me 4 times throughout the relationship. And then her male best friend came after me. Like, I'm pretty sure they were doing stuff while we were even together. I was so trusting, dude. I was so trusting. Like, hey, I'm with this person right now. I'd be like, alright, cool. Let me know when you're able to chill. Sometimes I'd give her shit because I was just like, man, y'all are always together. Like, we don't even hang out sometimes. You know? And then she would give me shit for that. And I was like, oh, fuck it. Whatever. You can do whatever you want. But that what relationship taught me. Yeah, a relationship taught me to just let go when it's time to let go too, man. The relationship before that one taught me to give second chances, because I think if I gave her a second chance, like, things would have been better, you know. So it taught me to do second chances. And with this one, the one that I just discussed, I gave her 2 chances. And it was stupid. It was so stupid. Don't do that, guys. Don't fucking do that to yourself. Anyways, it's about we got about fucking a few seconds left in the show, but I wanted to thank you guys. I do still have more to talk about, so we're gonna do a part 2 of this a little bit later, but I want to cut it off here before it gets too crazy. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Just hang out with me on social media as well. I did create some new content there. You can find me on Instagram at edspace.fm. And then you can find me on SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube at the EDSPACE podcast. Once again, my name is Ed Suarez, and you have just been fed. I'll see you on the next one.